All right, so this article is from Business Tech. So it speaks on foreigners, right? Which province foreigners flock to the most, right? And I'm gonna give my reaction and my review of it, and just to understand the complexities of foreigners in the world, like I've noticed in every country, in Spain, in Ireland, the conversation of foreigners and the balance of it, all right? The conversation that's happening around the world, even in America, right? Um, and just trying to understand the nuances, the different dynamics of that challenge, and where to draw the line and when to, you know, let go of it, right? When to accept and when to reject, right? So yeah, this is the article. Foreigners are flocking to this province in South Africa by Business Tech. Gauteng remains the top destination for foreigners choosing to settle in South Africa. Western Cape is increasingly becoming a competitor for international and local residents alike. Cape Town is growing rapidly. Western Cape has seen an increased share of both foreign buyers and local semigrants in property. Census data highlights that Gauteng is comfortably the most populated province in South Africa, with 15.8 million inhabitants. 1.1 million are foreign born, which exceeds the foreign population of Western Cape, where only 368,000 foreigners reside. Joburg's average property transaction prices of around 1.2 million rand, below the national average of 1.3 million rand. Nearly 77% of 2024's transactions in the city have been for properties under 1.5 million rand, with almost half of those below 700,000 rand. Many Europeans, especially from Germany, Switzerland, and the Netherlands, are choosing to spend part of the year in the Western Cape to escape the harsh winters back home. The influx of foreign capital into the Western Cape is proving to be beneficial to the South African economy. These are mainly retirees, right? All right. So I think there's a positive and a negative side to that, right? So the positive side to that is when you have many foreigners maybe in a province, it means that okay, this province, there's something good, there's good things happening in this province, right? It means business is booming, it means capital is running through, right? It means the money is being circulated really well, right? However, Gauteng is also experiencing infrastructure challenges. There's old infrastructure in Gauteng that is declining, that needs to be fixed. It needs to be it needs to be worked on. It needs to be fixed, right? And we understand that ANC didn't do anything to um, fix these old um, infrastructure that's declining. It's declining every single day, right? However, right, the private sector once again has is building, right, sort of a second Sandton. Well, it's not gonna be called Sandton, but I forgot the name of the place, right? But if you live in Gauteng and if you know Gauteng, you know the place I'm talking about. They busy like extending, right? They extending, right? The second part of it, right? So that will be like sort of a new Sandton, but it's not really. Sandton, right? They're not gonna call it Sandton, but right, it's basically a high luxury place, like a high lifestyle place. But um yeah, so there's positives and negative to it, because you get some foreigners, right, which are the illegal. These are mostly illegal foreigners that do this, right? You get illegal foreigners that stay in houses or buildings that have been abandoned. Then they mess it up. They mess up the streets. They mess up certain things, right? And then you get the good foreigners, or the people that came here to work, and they actually contributing to the money that is flowing healthily, right? They contributing, they hiring other South Africans. So it's a complex thing, right? It's a complex thing, right? Some people are thinking, yo, on the other hand, we need foreigners in order to boost the economy. Right? We need a certain type of foreigner to boost the economy, right? For them to bring money in, to bring jobs, to boost, right? To boost the unemployment rate, for the unemployment rate to go higher. And then you get other people that are like, no, we don't need them. We can, create stuff for our own, right? And so that's been part of the controversy behind the Minister of Home Affairs. Is it Leon Schreiber, right? I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? But he said he wanted to bring people from China and India. He wanted to tap into the markets of China and India and bring in those skills, right, from there, because he believes, like, yo, the skills out there, there's so many skilled people out there that can help contribute, that can help boost, right? Not that South Africans are not skilled in the list. In the list that he was naming, right, you do get South Africans that are qualified, right, or that are qualified or have the skill or can do that specific skill on that list, right? But I think he wants to add more, right? He thinks adding more of those people will add to more jobs. So maybe it could work, maybe it will fall flat on its face. I don't know, we'll see. Um, but yeah, it's a complex issue, and it's once again one of the issues that I feel the ANC hasn't handled correctly, because right now, if you look at the food poisoning crisis, right, that's happening right in the townships, where, like, you have children that are dying because they ate chips, or they ate food that was basically fake, and then they died. And then you had people rioting, and they trying to close the spaza shop down. So you have that situation also happening, right? And there's this heavy force of people that are against foreigners, right? But you also have the force that is for foreigners. So it's it's a balance that needs to be there needs to be a proper balance, a proper conversation on it, a proper policy, a policy in which all the citizens know about. Because some citizens, right, in the townships, they feel like, yo, these spas of people, these people, they're not following the law, they're not following the constitution, right? And so they're like, why isn't the police doing anything about it? They're not following the constitution. like what is going on here. So the constitution also needs to be enforced. The law also needs to be enforced in situations like that, right? Right. But however, every country, the reality is that every country needs foreigner. Like there has to be a level of tourism. That's why there is a minister of tourism. There's a minister of tourism because, you know, there needs to be people from outside, right? People from outside need to come in and contribute to the economy, right? It has to happen, right? I just feel like this government has failed in balancing it properly, right? Has failed in balancing it. So yeah, we need a solution to that, right? A way to balance it out correctly so that our people do not get harmed, you know, and so that foreigners can live peacefully, right? And so that there's balance, right? But I mean, but on the flip side, if the foreigner is European, European foreigners get a lot of privilege. I'm not gonna lie. When there's European foreigners or American foreigners, basically foreigners from the West, nobody does anything because they're from the West. People don't really see them like that. But I guess it's also because they're not really causing major problems, right? They're not causing major problems like the ones in the township or the ones that are in highly populated black areas. They're not causing issues, they're not selling drugs, they're not soliciting, they're not promoting prostitution or pimp activities, right? So yeah, there's that flip side to it. However, I've heard of rumors about a black market in Cape Town where, like, I don't know if this is true, but I've seen like two TikToks of it, of like a black market where Europeans are basically trading and selling South African uh artifacts. You know those South African artifacts that are old? Yeah, there's basically a black market of illegal thing going on there. I don't know if that's happening. Maybe it is. I wouldn't be surprised if it's happening, to be honest, because yeah, I mean, look at where we live in it, right? If you tell a South African that that is happening, they wouldn't be surprised by it, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, it's complex. It's a complex issue. It's a complex issue, really. So yeah, that's just me venting. It's just me. This is me getting my thoughts out about the situation. Cool.